Hey guys, what's up? This is Jedith, and the brand new raid was just put up onto the PTR for patch 10.2. The raid is called Embellishment, the Dream's Hope. Kind of looks like Firelands, doesn't it? We're going to look through all the bosses, we're going to take a look through their loot tables. A lot of it is placeholder loot, but we can still get a sense of what the items are going to be. There are some very interesting things in there that we can take a look at, some trinkets, some weapons, a lot of cool things with like proc effects. So we're going to take a look through that today and see what we can find. Now, just before we go any further, I want to ask you guys, if you're not subscribed to this YouTube channel yet, do me a favor, just scroll down, hit that subscribe button, hit the like button while you're down there. It helps out a ton. There's going to be a lot more videos coming out very soon as we have this PTR information being thrown at us. Make sure you subscribe to this channel so you get notified when all of those new videos come out. Okay, so let's dive into it. The boss list is right here. I don't know if this is going to be the final order. It may not be, but let's take a look. So we have Gnarl Root. Sounds like a tree boss. Igira the Cruel. Volcaros. Council of Dreams. I wonder if that's a council boss. Laradar, Keeper of the Flame. That's the guy that we fought in the pre-quest. If you guys remember the centaur-looking guy that Farak and Viranoth were messing with. That's that guy. Nimue? I think that's how they said it in the announcement video. Nimue. Weaver of the Cycle. Smolderon. I believe he's from an old... I don't know, did we fight this guy before? Smolderon? Anyone know? Let me know in the comments. Tindrol Sage Swift. Seer of the Flame. And the final boss, Farak the Blazing. So, let's start with Gnarl Root. Let's look at the loot here. Yeah, we're not going to look at the abilities or anything, the overviews. Let's just look at the loot for now. So, lots of weapons here. As you can see, they're all placeholder, but there are a few very specific things that are fully implemented. We have this Defender of the Ancient. This is an offhand shield, and we can't see the appearance. Oh, yep, there it is. All right, that looks pretty cool. I like that. It's kind of shadow flamey. What else we got here? A trinket. Branch of the Tormented Ancient. So this is a strength trinket. Summon 6 roots to draw on their power for 15 seconds. Slowing you by 10% per root. So that's 60%. 60% slow. Your next 6 melee abilities sever a root, dealing 125,000 additional shadow flame damage split between nearby enemies. Damage increased per enemy struck up to 5. Your next 6 melee abilities. I wonder if like a Fury Warrior would just burn through those really quick and do a lot of burst damage. Let's move to Igira the Cruel. What do we have here? Overflowing Satchel of Pilfered Recipes. Okay, this means this boss can just drop a lot of the profession recipes. We have the Cruel Dream Carver. This is a dagger. Crit verse. Stab your target for low shadow flame damage and carve out a piece of their dreams, consuming it to gain a benefit based on the creature's type for 60 minutes. Now this is very interesting. I wonder what this means. Does it mean like humanoids give you a certain bonus? Does it mean undead give you a different bonus? What does it mean? We'll have to find out. But very cool nonetheless. We have a trinket down here, Bandolier of Twisted Blades. This is an agility one. This is what we like to see. Plunge the twisted blades into your target, dealing 93,000 physical damage. Physical damage is kind of iffy because it's reduced by armor, but anyways. After 3 seconds, the blades ignite with shadow flame and return to you, dealing 230 shadow flame damage split between the target and all enemies in its path. Guys, this is Twisting Blades. That's why it's called Bandolier of Twisted Blades. This is Twisting Blades from Diablo 4. Holy shit. This is sick. I'm stoked on that. If any of you have played Diablo 4 Rogue and you played the Twisting Blades build, oh my god, it's so fun. Especially for Havoc, because we're going to be fell rushing all over the place. So we can like specifically make sure the blades come back and travel through a certain pack of enemies. I'm excited for this one. This is so cool. Okay, let's move on before I get even more excited. Volcaros. What do we got? Not much to look at here. This one's struggling. We'll move on. Council of Dreams. Thorn Caller Claw. So again, this is a fist weapon, so Havoc could use it, but it's haste verse, which is no crit. Your damaging melee abilities have a low chance to inflict Thorn Spirit, which deals 11,000 nature damage over 15 seconds. Using damaging melee abilities against a target with Thorn Spirit, inflict 31,000 nature damage split between all enemies within 5 yards of the target. This sounds like it could be cool, but again, there's no crit on it. I don't know. I'm not sure on this one. I don't think it's going to be that good for us, but we'll have to see what other weapons we have available. Trinket, Gift of Urktos. It's a versatility stat trinket. Stat stick. Taking damage from nearby enemies causes you to counterattack for 11,000 damage and gain 1 stack of Rising Rage, granting 16 agility and stacking up to 30 times. This effect may occur every 3 seconds. At 30 stacks of Rising Rage, gain Fury of Urktos for 8 seconds before consuming them, counterattacking all blows and regenerating 19,000 health every 1 second. That sounds pretty good. This is a tank trinket, obviously, but it's a cool combination of like defensive and damage. I think this could be pretty good. Again, I'm not a tank, so I don't know these things, but it sounds good to me. Pip's Emerald Friendship Badge. So it's agility, intellect, or strength. Join the Dream Team, gaining 280 of Pip's Mastery, Urktos' versatility, or Airwind's critical strike based on your current best friend. Don't know what that means. Your spells and abilities have a chance to tag in the next best friend, granting you their passive bonus and empowering it to 3,362. I have no clue what any of that means. Is it just a cycling thing like Cache of Acquired Treasures, where you're just constantly cycling between best friends and whatever one it lands on? I don't know. Interesting, but we'll have to see. Laradar, Keeper of the Flame. This is where we got some tier things. We have Smoldering Treant Seedling. So haste stat stick. Replant the seedling and attempt to put out its flames for 12 seconds. Healing the seedling also heals up to injured allies for the same amount. Split evenly. Healing is increased for each ally until 769,000 additional healing damage or healing is provided. The seedling is still alive after 12 seconds. Receive 749 intellect for 10 seconds as a thanks. This is a healing trinket and it went right over my head. If a healer knows if this is good or not, let me know in the comments. Dude, I don't know. Enchant weapon, Dreaming Devotion. I don't know what that does. Nimue. Nimue's Vengeful Spindle. So this is an intellect trinket. Summon a wisp every 3 seconds that seeks out nearby enemies to apply Weaver's Scorn, stacking up to 5 times and dealing 594 nature damage before fading away. Wisps prioritize enemies that have yet to be scorned. Then the on-use effect, channel for 2.5 seconds, reclaiming the essence of all scorned enemies to grant you 260 mastery per stack consumed, up to 5 stacks, dealing 511,000 nature damage split between enemies. Damage increased for each enemy struck up to 5. Sounds good? It sounds very basic. It's not the same gameplay style as that Twisting Blades one that we saw earlier. That one really excites me to read. This one, it's also just an intellect trinket, so I'm kind of half brain dead when it comes to that. Smolderon. So there's a set of Warglaves here. Crit haste. That's good. Okay. What do we got here? Ashes of the Ember Soul. Haste stat stick. Draw upon the remnants of the Ember Soul, gaining 5,485 agility for 20 seconds, decaying every 3 seconds. Once this effect ends, become burned out, losing 730 haste for 60 seconds before recovering. So you gain a bunch of agility. And then you lose the natural haste from this item, 730 for 60 seconds before recovering. When circumstances are dire, your soul ignites, granting this bonus again without decaying. This effect might only occur once per combat. When the circumstances are dire, so I guess that's when you get below a certain percentage of health, maybe? It's an on-use effect, a 2-minute cooldown. Infernal Signet Brand, agility or strength. Your attacks and abilities have a chance to viciously brand the target. Uh-oh, I'm getting triggered already. Dealing 14,000 fire damage over 6 seconds, and grant you Firestarter, stacking up to 15 times. Damage increased per stack to a maximum of 182,000. Your attacks and abilities have a chance to viciously brand the target, dealing fire damage over 6 seconds. That sounds like fucking sinful brand, man. And grant you Firestarter, stacking up to 15 times. Damage increased, while above 5 stacks, also deal 50% of its damage to you. Oh no. At 15 stacks, enemies near your target suffer 10% of the damage dealt, split between them. Firestarter decays every 5 seconds while out of combat and fades entirely after 15 seconds. deals 50% of his damage to you. That sounds scary. What else do we got here? Bellorelos, the Sunstone. It's an intellect trinket. Unleash a solar maelstrom, slowing yourself and nearby enemies before erupting in flames after 2 seconds to deal 643,000 fire damage, split between all enemies, and 268 fire damage to you over 12 seconds. Castable while moving. Damage increased per enemy struck up to 5. Unleash a solar maelstrom, slowing yourself and nearby enemies before erupting in flames after 2 seconds. I mean, that's a pretty big hit. 643 fire damage. You do take fire damage back, but it's over 12 seconds, so you can prep for it. You can use defensive, you can get heals. If you're using it single target, that's a big single target blast for 643k. If you're fighting a group of mobs, that's still not bad because the damage increased per enemy struck up to 5. Castable while moving, so you don't get like completely rooted. You can still move, you're just slowed. I wonder if this would be worth using. I don't think trinkets are affected by any means necessary, are they? They're not. No. If that was affected by AMN, turned into chaos damage, oh boy. Anyways, Farak the Blazing. Bunch of placeholder stuff. We got a one-hand axe from him. Shadow Flame Corrupted. Interesting. If you look up at the top under the name of the item, it says Shadow Flame Corrupted Mythic. It is... Oh, it's Strength Stamina, so it's not Agi. Two-handed Staff Agi. Strength Axe. Intel Mace. Was there anything that Demon Hunters could use here? I don't think I'm seeing any. Anything with a proc, I mean. Doesn't look like it. Damn. Okay, Augury of the Primal Flame. This is a crit stat stick. Your spells and abilities have a low chance to grant Annihilating Flame for 30 seconds, causing your critical strikes to deal 30% additional damage as fire, split between nearby enemies. The flame fades after dealing 245,000 total additional damage. Damage and total limit increased per enemy struck. I think this is one we're going to be using as Havoc, guys. This is insane. Spells and abilities have a low chance to grant, unless the proc is just super low. But granting Annihilating Flames for 30 seconds, causing your critical strikes to deal 30% additional damage. So our critical strikes are already, we have a high crit chance, right? Not only do we have a high crit chance, but we do naturally higher crit damage because of Know Your Enemy. So on top of that, we're going to be doing 30% more additional critical strike damage as fire. Now, if it counts as the trinket doing that fire damage, I don't think it would be affected by AMN. But if it was our crits still from the abilities doing fire damage instead, or like as an extra hit, those might be converted into chaos damage with AMN. I could be like getting a little too deep into this. I might be just, purely speculating right now, but it could be really good. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. Blossom of Amir Drasil. It's a healing trinket, I would assume. Yep, healing an ally below 85% health grants them Blossom of Amir Drasil, healing for 155,000 over 6 seconds. This effect may occur once per minute. If the target is fully healed when this effect expires, the Blossom spreads to 3 injured allies to heal for 77,000 over 6 seconds. If the target is not fully healed, the Blossom blooms to absorb 233 damage instead. Okay. Again, not a healer. Don't know. Tainted Rage Heart, agility and strength. Deal 2,000 Shadow Flame damage to you and nearby enemies every 3 seconds while in combat. So you're just naturally pulsing damage. That's just when you equip it. The on-use effect, given to the Rage Heart, absorbing 360,000 damage, but suffering 30,000 Shadow Flame damage and lashing out at a nearby enemy every 1 second to deal 30,000 Shadow Flame damage split between nearby enemies. Damage increased per enemy struck up to 5. So that's a tank trinket. Given to the Rage Heart, absorbing damage, but suffering 30,000. I would assume that it's like, okay, DPS trinket, healing trinket, tank trinket. I could be wrong. But yeah, definitely some really cool stuff in here. I'm just taking a quick look to see if there's any other weapons that we missed that had procs on them. But I don't think so. Don't think I see any. There may be more to come. This is by no means complete. This isn't a complete dungeon journal. As you can see, like, these things don't even have names. There could be more to come. So, anyways. Oh, also, I just want to point out there's a new embellishment. It's gonna drop off the first boss. It's a new embellishment. Gain stacking critical strike while above 70% health. So it's like the blue silicon lining, except it's crit. So that's pretty good. We love crit. I'm sure there's gonna be more stuff that's like, you know, enchants. There's gonna be more embellishments that are kind of based around this patch. Again, this is very early days on the PTR. We will see what happens and what is to come in the future patches. So if you guys like this video, give it a like, make sure you sub to the YouTube channel, and I will catch you next time. Peace.